It's very sweet, very endearing. The guy's Total Control 871. Coping with the aftermath of losing the appeal. The best way I can really explain the way it feels is I can only assume this is how a person with a terminal illness feels when they receive, word that their clinical trial or whatever treatment option that they were using is failing, and that their illness is killing them. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for a Supreme Court appeal. I'll do my best, like I did with Superior Court, but my time is fast running out. The footage I played for you, it is the rally that was held for the young woman that was killed by the garbage truck a couple of days ago in Center City, Philadelphia. We saw them utilize, the cyclists were creating a human shield, protected bike lane. I think it's wonderful to have segregated cycling infrastructure, repaint the lanes, freshen them up. I just don't see how that would have saved this woman's life, unless there's going to be evidence that you can tell me that the garbage truck veered into the bike lane, either the garbage truck driver spaced out, didn't see the cyclist. If the garbage truck driver veered into the lane, then it is very clear that the garbage truck driver is at fault and should be brought up on vehicular manslaughter charges, and charges of the like. However, from what I've been able to discern, it says in the report here as well that this occurred at the intersection, and she was not sideswiped and dragged under the truck. This occurred at the intersection. And even if there were a physical concrete barrier, on the left side of a bike lane, that concrete barrier, it's not going to be there at the cross street, because motor traffic has to be able to turn left or right, or whatever the case may be. So theoretically, if the garbage truck is going and the cyclist is flanking and the two are going down side by side, whether there's a barrier or not, once they reach the intersection, the truck is going to turn. And of course, that's where all of our questions emerge. Was the truck ahead of the cyclist? Was the truck using turn signals? Did it signal early enough? Was the cyclist racing to get ahead of the HGV, the lorry? Or, there's a great deal that I don't think we're ever going to know. Again, that's why this homeless man spent $1,600 of very precious funds outfitting his bicycle with the necessary camera and camera accessories. I spoke about this like last year sometime. There's a whole bunch of accessories for GoPros that I'd love to have. I'd love to have a DJI gimbal. I'd love to have a laptop. I'd love to have microphone, Bluetooth microphones, or the lavalier microphones. Bike Blogger uses them, and you know, there's guys out there with all kinds of nifty stuff to go along with their bike commuting videos. I don't have these things. I didn't spend money on those things because they weren't absolutely essential. You know, yeah, I spent $1,600 on video surveillance for the bicycle, but that was an absolutely essential, a bare bones total. I would love to flourish this channel into something a bit more, I don't know, what do you call it? You know, like, you got people out there that develop their channels into almost television style media, you know. I'd love to be able to do that. Who knows? Miracles happen every day. Maybe something will come along and will change my fate that will enable me to do that, you know. I've opened up another channel a couple days ago called American Vehicular Cycling. There's no content on it whatsoever. I'll probably end up never utilizing the channel. Just like I'm coming to terms with a lot of stuff, you know. I wanted that channel to be devoid of a lot of this political stuff that I deal with on the Total Control channel. The American Vehicular Cycling, I wanted that to be pure cycling, advocating for cycling, getting the novice, getting the people who see me. I get stopped a lot on the street. People want to know about how I got into cycling, how they themselves can get into it, how I go about negotiating the roads, you know. I would very much indeed like to use that channel to flourish that. I don't think it's going to be possible. But yeah, if it's all right, I want to just kind of go along here and maybe read some of these comments. We got some comments here. Here's one from Patty Kalinowski Johnson, whatever. Patty Johnson. And she says in this comment section, what these advocates don't say is how many times do these cyclists cut right in front of traffic? We had one do it to us and we had to jam on the brakes, but they aren't saying anything about them ever being wrong. It's a shame someone was killed and I don't know whose fault it was. And these roads aren't made for horses either. They're not supposed to be walking. They're not supposed to be walking city streets, especially with the amount of car traffic there is in Center City. Well, Patty, believe it or not, the roads are indeed open to horses. Shocker, right? As long as the animal is trained not to freak the hell out in motor traffic, and it's not a restricted road, yeah, you can ride your horse and carriage down the road. Amish do it all the time. Again, a slower moving vehicle. Here's Ron Markowitz, and he has to say, how about they ride on the sidewalk like I used to when I was a kid? Never had a problem with cars then. They think their bikes are cars, and they are not. Get out of the way. Ron Markowitz pretty much sums up what I face every single day on the road. A complete detached reality from what the law actually says. It's true that my bicycle is not a motor vehicle, but it doesn't have to be a motor vehicle to be ridden in the road. I have every right to the road. Cyclists are not invited guests that are to be well-mannered and well-behaved like church mice scurrying along the baseboard. You know, out of sight, out of mind. I'm just going to be right here next to the gutter. I'll be scurrying along on my little bike. Okay. We don't have to have that kind of eggshell existence on the road. You know, that's why it says in the New Jersey Cycling Manual, be very confident in your cycling. We have every right to the road. We are not an invited guest. Our rights to the road are equal to your rights to the road. There's a few other comments here. We got Bill Arnold says, yeah, when you want to share the road, you can start by following the traffic signals. Tired of you reckless yuppies almost running me and my dog over, blowing through stop signs and red lights. Going to start lifting her leash up and using it to clothesline them. Oh, well, isn't that just darling? He's gonna use his dog's leash to clothesline a cyclist. That probably is not the smartest idea. I think your dog will probably suffer the worst of that. I understand his anger. I understand Bill's anger. And unfortunately, like I said a number of videos ago, those are the type of cyclists that stick in these people's head. Cyclists like me don't. Well, cyclists like me stick in your head when I am utilizing lane control. Cyclists like me utilize lane control because of the complaints that the cycling community have about you motor vehiclists. So the comments that I've read here, they go on. You know, they basically read the same. And I hear them, I understand them, but remember, lane control is a direct reaction. You know, for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. The cycling community, once upon a time, was content to leave that 39-414 law on the shelf and to ride on the side of the road. I even spoke about this during my trial. Back when we had our Ericsson phones and smartphones weren't really there yet, things weren't quite so bad. But now that things have gone, phones are all optical now. The need for the lane control became that much more dire. You know, just like in 2009, that's when, in New Jersey anyway, the New Jersey Move Over law was implemented. And if I'm not mistaken, along the Black Horse Pike, it was in 2009 when they moved over the shoulder, making the shoulder wider. Now, the cyclists benefit from that, but it wasn't done for the sake of the cyclists. It was done for the sake of cops when they pull motor traffic over. So once again, the police lives are all that matter, and everybody else can just be damned. Yeah, so, you know, I hear these complaints. I really do. And what we got here? We got cyclists are also to blame. It's also their responsibility to follow the rules. That's John James Gladinsky. So it's just more of the stuff over and over again. People saying that cyclists don't follow the rules. That's not a vehicular cyclist. A vehicular cyclist specializes in following the road rules. Okay? Alright guys, so that's what I'm dealing with today. There's other stuff I'll tell you later, but that's what I'm dealing with today, and we're going to see if we can get our Supreme Court appeal put together for whatever it's worth. Like I say, when I go to take final action, when I go to end all of this darkness, this dark night, and I don't want anybody saying that I didn't try, that there was something else that I could have done. So there you go. Total Control 871.